That is a hovering orb. It was just moving. It is moving. It's moving now. It started moving. I knew that was a hovering orb all along. I knew that was not a star. It suddenly just started moving. It was hovering there for a while, and a lot of times you'll think that's a star. But it is definitely moving, see? You see it? Zoom out a little bit, that way you can, the viewer, the video viewer can see that is most certainly moving. I knew that was a hover. It always hovers right there. It's been doing that for years, since about 2021 is when it first started. And I didn't really start noticing all this until that first one on the beach. Back on June 4th, 2024. That was the first actual UFO video I got. But it's been happening long before that. And I finally started to wake up and realize it after that day. I was starting to right before that day, actually, slowly. And then after that day is when well, particularly by November 2024, that's when I really woke up and figured it out. See, it actually is moving. That's the street light right there. Let me get around the street light. I'm going to continue documenting it. You know, right now, it's, these YouTube videos, like they can be, tricky. You know, one day, they're like my videos. They might get a few hundred views occasionally, maybe more occasionally, but usually not. Usually handfuls. Usually less than, usually tens and tens of views, right? It's just amazing how these UFO videos, can one day, it might seem like nobody's really paying attention to them. And then if something, then something really weird or crazy, or something might happen to the YouTuber or something the next day that causes the videos to go quadruple viral. And next thing you know, overnight, they are getting millions of views because of one little event. So this documentation I'm doing, it's just an online, this Facebook and YouTube is just a log. I'm just logging it. I'm just using that as a log to, to document this, which is, it's, I see these things every day. What am I supposed to do? But, yeah, I just use Facebook and YouTube as an online document. And I think that one's I think that one's also hovering too. It is. That's not a star either. But yeah, YouTube, documented on YouTube and Facebook. It's just a public log is all it is. That's definitely not a star. That's also a sphere. It's hovering. Just like the other one, it was hovering there for a while and then suddenly starts moving. But yeah, so basically that online log I have, the public log diary I'm keeping of all these UFOs, it can either be really small, like it is now, with hardly anybody really noticing, or, something could potentially happen. And then next thing you know, these videos are getting millions of views or more. So that's up to them. We'll see how they want to handle that. I did about a half hour of meditation in the house, pretty deep meditation, from about 5 to 5:30. Now I'll do a little more. Yeah, that's not a star there either. The other one was hovering just like that. And then suddenly I looked and it started moving. Kind of like they're letting me know, yes, John, you're right. I know you've been, because I've been wondering about it, so I'll get like that. I'm like 100% sure, but then in the back of my mind, I'll still have doubt about it. I'm getting over that now because of this. Anyway, that's it.